let's talk about seeking views on moving from managed funds to ETFs for long-term investing. Now, this question was in our Facebook group, and I might get John to read this.
Damn.
Well, you were just saying how much you love this screen here.
I do love the screen.
So this is an anonymous question.
Thanks, Anonymous, for your
apricot.
For your in-depth question.
And if you do want to join the Facebook group, just put that you heard us chat on episode 851, so we know you're not spam.
So we're looking for some thoughts from the group. Ages 30 female, 33 male. We received a statement of advice from a financial advisor in 2021, cost approximately 5.5 jiggers. They helped with insurance, super, and set up managed fund via net wealth. We didn't proceed with ongoing advice due to a $440 per month fee. Current position, 2 investment properties, PPOR fully paid off. That's principal place of residence. Approximately 150 cash, 1,000 that is, approximately 45,000 managed fund, approximately 500 vested company shares worth approximately US 160K, very concentrated and underperforming. We have a baby on the way, congratulations, so flexibility is important. We're considering selling the managed fund and a portion of employee shares and reinvesting into low-cost ETFs. For first-time players, that's exchange-traded funds, Glenn.
Look out, Johnson.
The managed fund requires $1,000 per month, which isn't ideal during maternity leave. With ETFs, we prefer investing quarterly or when we've built up cash. Our focus is long-term wealth and passive income from property and dividends. I'm conscious of fees and lean towards time in the market rather than trying to beat it. Well done. Our advisor strongly preferred managed funds, but I'm struggling to justify the higher fees. Keen to hear thoughts on moving from managed funds to ETFs with property and a passive income focus. Thanks.
Well, John, do you guys have any thoughts? Because I actually asked the questioner what was the portfolio, and I'll just get that up.
While you get that up, can I just say how fantastic it is to be in this financial position at 30 and 33?
Yes.
It's outstanding.
It is.
Oh, they've crushed it.
They're dialed in. I'm neither here nor there with the sort of where we're heading with this. It's probably more in your wheelhouse, Glenn. But I feel when reading this, there's a focus on the fees, which yes, it's a consideration, but I don't think it should stop us from making major decisions for the long term.
Okay, so while you guys were talking, I pulled up the portfolio that they said in the Facebook group. A couple of things here. Net Wealth Accelerator Plus. Number one, Net Wealth is the platform, and that's where the money is housed. You do not need a financial advisor for net wealth, okay? That's number one. Number two, the $1,000 a month, and this could be because it was 2,000, and this is the crazy thing. 2 people in their 30s with they've accrued this much cash, 150K cash, they've got stock options, they've paid for their house, own the house outright, 45K managed funds. Money ain't your problem at the moment. Enjoy the baby, take a year or two off work. But because the advice was presented, and I have no idea who the advisor was, in 2021, that $1,000, I would go out on a limb and put my house on it that's not a minimum, okay? So what you can do, if you kept net wealth, for example, you could actually put money into the cash account and then every 3 months place the trades. So that's the thing. So that's number one. Number two, with the ETFs versus managed funds, and this is more me being a purist and just kind of helping newer listeners to the party. ETF versus managed funds, you can't say, I don't want to invest in managed funds, I want ETFs, because ETFs are cheaper and ETFs, I can put money in whenever I want. A couple of things. They are just the structures. A lot of ETFs are passive and just track the index. Like on this person's portfolio, they've got Vanguard Australian Shares Index Fund, they've got Vanguard International Shares Index Fund. So they do have a portion, and I don't know the percentages, but they do have a portion here to index investing, right? Now, these managed funds there, the Vanguard Australian Shares Index Fund, that's a managed fund that's index. You can also get the VAS ETF, Vanguard Australian Shares, which is index, but the structure is different. So I'm just going to read some of the equity holdings. The Bally Gifford Long-Term Global Growth Class A, Bennelong X20 Australian Equities Funds, Fidelity Australian Equities Funds, Franklin Global Growth Fund, Hyperion Australian Growth Companies Fund, Magellan Global Fund, Pengana Global Small Companies Fund, and Vanguard Australian Shares Index Fund. So this portfolio, it's actually not a terrible portfolio, and some of these funds in there, they're quite good funds. And remember, fees aren't everything because you can pay more and get a better outcome. And I'll speak in, John, look at me, just so you can get me. You can pay a buyer's advocate.
Look at me.
Look at me. You can pay a buyer's advocate, which is expensive, but get a better outcome with a property if you didn't spend that money.
Yeah, it's a mindset thing.
So it is a mindset thing. So the issue that I've got here isn't we want to move from managed funds to ETFs. I think the situation here is potentially the goals have changed, and they obviously have. We've now got a child on the way, and it's not 2021 anymore. I would probably also suggest that, you know, based on their overall net worth, so they own a home outright, they've got 240K AUD in US stock company options that are vested. They've got 150K cash. They've got 2 investment properties. They must be in IT because people in IT are really like down to the numbers. For them not to want to spend $5,000 a year on ongoing advice, it's a bit wild. Now, they didn't need to spend the $5,000 a year, and they clearly haven't, and they've done quite well. But part of that advice, and again, might be more of an advertising for ongoing financial advice, part of that advice and $5,000 a year, mind you, a lot of that would have been tax deductible anyway, and based on their tax rates, it would have been probably 50% marginal tax rate.
Yeah, I don't know what the balance was back then, but when you look at that as a percentage now, it's quite small, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think there's only 45K managed fund, like 45K in that portfolio. If they had, and again, I don't know. All I know is what everyone can see on the screen here. Right?
Yeah.
This is all public knowledge in the Facebook group. All I know is if there was an ongoing advice relationship, potentially that 150K cash might have been deployed and got a higher return throughout the year. And I will get back to their question because I'm just taking some liberties here now just to chat about a bit of a live case study. And throughout the year, so I would go out on a limb to say that Magellan Global Fund probably in this advice business's portfolio has been replaced because there might only be 10% to that. Like the Bennelong X20 Australian Equities Fund, that's a good fund. Pengana, like small caps, like the small caps fund, I would rather do active small caps than index anyway because you need a fund manager to get in there and actually go, that's a small company, yet we'll actively put money in there. So I think to go to the question, our focus is long-term wealth and passive income from property and dividends. I'm conscious of fees and lean towards time in the market rather than trying to beat it. Our advisor strongly preferred managed funds, but I'm struggling to justify the higher fees.
Why would they choose managed funds generally?
Because they're actually, these type of portfolios, the funds that they choose actually outperform the market.
Right.
Can I ask a question? Why would they consider selling the managed funds at all? I just don't understand.
Well, I think it's a potentially a housekeeping thing. We've got 45K in managed funds, I think, because that's what they said, approximately 45K managed fund. I'm assuming there that says 45K in that whole portfolio. Now, I would also say potentially that portfolio was set up on the proviso that money is kept added to it. Like that's a big portfolio for only 45K. But that $1,000 a month is categorically, it's got to be untrue because anyway, lots going on. And this is half the problem with, if you're going to an advisor and you're getting a portfolio like this set up, you really do want to benefit and lean into the ongoing advice because over time that they will rebalance that portfolio and there could be a change. And I dare say as well, our focus is long-term wealth and passive income from property and dividends. I mean, I don't know the percentages, but it's pretty heavy Aussie dividend portfolio, that one, because you've got Australian Equities Fund, Fidelity Australian Equities Fund, you've got a high growth. I don't know. I guess we're here now, but this is if there is only 45 grand in this portfolio, sure, there's going to be a tax event, and there's some other comments there from the Facebook group. I would watch out for capital gains tax, but the regular contribution should be able to be stopped. Someone also said how much in super. They've both got 130 and 180K in their super. So this is actually a very small portion of their entire net worth. Given they've got 2 investment properties and a house paid off, I'm almost thinking why it's a housekeeping exercise, but our focus is long-term wealth and passive from property. If your focus is long-term wealth and property, I would be looking at potentially allocating money ongoing to super, because that's a long-term investment. I will also,
We're dealing with a first world problem, aren't we? Really,
we really are. Like, there's a lot, and these people, these are high net worth individuals, and they would act. And I get it. This type of personality, you see it online all the time. They want advice, but they also want to do it themselves.
Yeah,
and you've kind of got to be all in on this because an ongoing advice relationship really would have, I guess, got to the point where we weren't posting this now because it would have been sold throughout the year. Oh, what's going on? Well, we're thinking about starting a family. Okay, that's new information. Let's pause this now. Let's actually do a strategic sell down because there's been a change.
Yeah, you would have formed that relationship with your advisor ongoing. So you're working through the journey together, aren't you, with a common goal, or that goal's been outlined in mind. Someone said there that watch out for capital gains tax. Like you've made money. Like it's secondary to the conversation, isn't it?
But I mean, I don't know. If you our focus is long-term wealth. Something has changed since like 2021 and now, and they might not have owned the house when they first got advice. I don't know. I just thought it was a very interesting situation. Like, there's a lot of times where I would shat on advice, but just seeing that portfolio, I've got a portfolio that's similar to that.
Yeah.
There's nothing inherently wrong with that. Managed funds, yes, they are active, and you do want some active exposure. But and the problem is, you've got to make sure when you have a portfolio like this that every quarter that it's rebalanced. I don't know if there's a rule set up in net wealth that it gets rebalanced. You want to make sure that, when Hamish left Magellan, he was the guy who started that. My money left Magellan when Hamish left Magellan. Like, that was kind of my vibe. But yeah, I don't really have any other things, Keen to hear thoughts on moving from managed funds to ETFs with property and a passive income focus.
Well done, Con Apricot.
Yeah.
You're killing it.
Yeah, you're killing it.
I would probably just stop putting extra money in there, and then potentially over time, if you do want to close out the portfolio, I mean, maybe if someone's on mat leave and it's half in their name, do that. Yeah, it can be managed, but there's nothing that I see that is mission critical crazy because we're talking about, oh, here we go. They said, but it doesn't align with our strategy of long-term buy and hold to eventually live off the dividends income. But that portfolio, long-term buy and hold strategy, that would be it. Rather than having to sell down and access capital, hence why we're wanting to sell down the portfolio and move to ETFs as LICs that generate that income, we'll invest dividends until closer to retirement is the planned thoughts. And this was just something that I saw. You're only 30. Like, what are we doing here? If I'm 30, I'm not selling and moving to dividend income portfolio today.
Well, it depends when they want to retire.
If you've been high performer, there's two high performers.
They're never going to retire.
Do you know what's happening here? Their life's changing because they're having a baby, and they're freaking out. They're going, "Wow, what can we keep doing this?" I just wouldn't be selling anything in this mindset when I'm about to plan a new family. I'd be keeping everything.
Yeah, that's a worldwide statement with experience right there.
Well, I think you're right. These are high performing, 30 years old, 2 investment properties, own their house. Oh, we want to build long-term wealth and live off the income.
It's already here.
We're not, you're done. You are done.
Game over.
You need to, honestly, go for growth still. And okay, you want to go there? If you look at all type of financial strategies, and you'll get this because you're a property guy, in the current climate in Australia, you don't want the income now for tax. You want to go growth now and sell later because and these are smart people because sometimes when we're that smart and dialed in, we can't see the forest for the trees. You'd probably do better with tax and your overall wealth to not have dividends now and go for growth and later on down the track, chisel away.
I mean, I know it's showbiz, but they got 30 years to just consistently chip away at this. So it's like...
Yeah. And even if they're like, we want to retire when we're 50, it's got 20 years.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Glen here. Thank you so much for watching today's video. You made it to the end. Can I ask a favor? Can you hit that like button and maybe hit subscribe if you want to get notified when we release further videos just like this one, whether you watch the Money, Money, Money podcast or Retire Right. And remember, if you want to learn more about investing, I've got an investing book, The Quick Start Guide to Investing, and there's a link in the description to get your hands on a copy. Thank you so much. Bye.